Hello everyone and welcome to the Anvils of Conor YouTube page. In today's video we'll be taking a closer look at the new multi-part armour kits by Tortuga Bay, ranging from Mark II to Mark VI down here. The pros of the new kit, what's been changed, the detail and the new crisp quality on these kits as well. I was sent these a few weeks back alongside the fantastic Indomitus kits that he released. So I thought now I've got a bit of time to do a bit of a deep dive into these kits, little segment on each armour mark. Obviously you can't review them through these blister packs. And yeah, so I'll see you in the next video, the next section rather, where we'll be taking a look at Mark II, and we'll go through the different armour marks in order. See you in a bit. Welcome back everyone. So in this first section, we're going to be taking a closer look at Mark II. So you can see them here. So you've got new poses, first and foremost. Now the separation of the torso and the legs is fantastic, as any of us who have played the game for some time will appreciate, especially with so-called firstborn Marines. Having the separate torso to legs really opens up posability, and you can really change, especially with the use of the head and arms, you can really change how dynamic a model looks altogether. So you can also see that the sort of print stroke casting quality has improved from the older sort of torso and legs kit, which were all one piece, which is marvellous. So Heinrich and the guys at Tortuga Bay are very, very keen to really provide an excellent product, essentially, to us hobbyists, and especially on this larger scale. You know, your eye is drawn to any imperfections in larger armour plates and things like that. So really tidied up various bits and pieces. So the knee pads there as well. You've got that wonderful joint. So you've got a few more sort of cracks in the armour, just as you can imagine how they're removed and put on the warriors. So and just a few other details here and there. I'm just going to outline with a very shoddy pair of tweezers here. You've also got this detailing underneath the back of the greave. Likewise in the collar area, you've got this marvellous little piece here. So this used to be a lot wider and more shallow, so it was more challenging to fit in normal marine heads. But if I could just quickly grab one from the side, so you'll be able to see that actually you can pop in an unaltered Space Marine head very, very easily into that updated gap, which is marvellous. Okay, so that's a really good update to the kit. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. You've got a bit more detail here as well, so a more clearly sort of worked out and separated circle to place the arm for that soft armour area. All right, and then you've got also just at the back here too some more detailing with that lovely trapezial sort of detailing at the back. So all in all, really rather nice actually. So join me in the next part for Mark III. So here we have our Mark III iron armour. I'll just point out the changes to this as well. So again, much crisper quality altogether, really very nice. You've got a newer overplate on the Sabaton, which is rather nice. Excellent for an additional edge highlight and some oil weathering. The hinges are new as well. So they used to be quite bulky, not extremely detailed, but this is really nice on the new kit. And again, like the Mark II, you've got this detail here on the back of the greave, and you also have the bum plate. You've got a bit more detailing there as well. So this is all really, really nice. They've opened up the soft armour. So they've made it a little bit more realistic in terms of where you'd have the soft armor plating, or soft armor and the plates, let's say. And then the back of this is pretty much identical to the Mark II. I mean, Mark III is ideally, it is Mark II with additional plating for things like boarding actions and such. And then as before, again, where's that trusty little head gone? You've got that awesome area there, which is perfect to get the perfect height for a stock Primaris or Firstborn head in there, which is great. So there we are. So that's Mark III. Again, great posability. There is a little tab on this one here. So let's use a different torso where that's come off, so you can change it to a range of different ways. Now Mark III is my favourite. Not quite decided what I'm going to use these boys for yet, but likely something for the Death Guard, to be perfectly honest. I'm not sure what yet. Anyway, next part, Mark IV. See you in a tick. Now on to Mark IV, also known as Maximus armour. So the most obvious change is the size of the rivets on the legs. A lot more proportionally pleasing, in my opinion. In the older kits, they had much larger rivets, which didn't seem as in place, and certainly weren't able to fit 5 on a knee pad, for example, or at least looking very cleanly. Again, you've got that same wonderful collaring there, and that detail at the back, which is going to catch washes really, really well. And instead of having those little dashes along the back there, you've got these slashes across. Okay, again, more lines, more broken up armor, where you can see how it would be taken off in the long run. All right, and then you've got some just tabs here at the back where that soft tubing goes in. Bit of an update, rather good. Again, with that smaller chest plate coming down, you can really pose these ones very, very easily. All right, so great update. Again, like the previous 2 kits, I don't want to spend too much time on each one, but again, just resizing of rivets on the Mark IV especially really works as that update. I probably won't use this in Death Guard. I'm not too keen on Mark IV and Death Guard, but I'm sure I'll find another project to make them work. See you in a sec for Mark V. So I dare say, of all the different marks that Tortuga have updated in their recent sort of kits, I think the most startling improvement to detail is with the Mark V, also known as Heresy Pattern Armour. All right, especially that vent on the front of the chest there, really crisp. All right, let's see if I can bring that in. Okay, again, the rivets resized, works very well. I mean, this is a typical feature, especially of Heresy armour. That Mark V having those bonding studs, okay, on the legs and on the shoulder pads as well, and on the helm. So I should actually have an official Mark V Games Workshop helm here. All right, so look at that, marvelous, really good. Okay, so works very nicely. Again, just the crispness of the print. Just some more details like the lines on the armour, just breaking them up into separate panels altogether. More crisp tubing overall. All right. Again, don't want to spend too much time on each kit, but as we can see, overall a real improvement. And again, we've got that posability. I see you for the final section on Corvus armour, Mark VI. All right, welcome back. So in the last section of this video, we'll be taking a closer look at Mark VI, also known as Corvus armour, which was used in limited quantities, despite what Games Workshop say, by most of the legions. Some legions absolutely hated the prototypes that they were sent, so they sacked them off. But obviously, legions like Raven Guard, I mean, it's called Corvus Pattern Armour for a reason. It's Corvus Corax was very instrumental in testing these suits. They're very well known for their stealth capabilities, real silent running of their power packs as well, or their reactors, you should say. But just to go on to the actual aesthetic of the armour, really crisp detail. I love what they've done with the thigh plates here. Again, you've got the largest single section of armour of any of these 5 marks that I've shown you today in these lovely tall greaves. Okay, so they're not flared in the same way that the plastic Games Workshop ones are, but they're really lovely. That would be fantastic for a bit of airbrushing, in the same way that Primaris scale works very nicely for painting too. Again, you've just got more detailing, really crisp at the back here, that bum plate too, and you can see that the chest area in particular is they've really gone to town. Sorry, let me just try and focus on this with my phone. Okay, yeah, really gone to town with that beautiful detail. So very tempting to use this kind of thing in an upcoming force. I might have to do an allied detachment potentially, For my Death Guard, what Legion? I'm not entirely sure. But Night Lords would use this pattern of armour very, very freely. Likewise, Alpha Legion. All right, not so much with Iron Warriors, but let's not go down that rabbit hole. But yeah, so there we have it. So we've got those 5 marks of armour from just grabbing a set of Mark II here, so you can see them side by side. So the lovely, beautiful Tortuga scale. I've been a user of Tortuga for a very long time now. They produce an excellent product. I'd really recommend looking into it, especially if you really want to make your Space Marines stand out on the battlefield and enjoy painting larger scale miniatures as well. I'm not saying that the existing scale for Games Workshop isn't fun to paint by any means, but I think that this more imposing scale looks a lot more appropriate for the Legiones Astartes of the Horus Heresy, Badab War and 41st Millennium. This has been Jack from Anvils of Conor. Hope to see you very soon in the next video. I really am trying to work on a bit of a backlog for things on my Patreon and other personal projects, but rest assured I'll be back with the next video real soon. Cheerio.